Glory to Jesus Christ, and welcome to St. Cyril Methodius Ukrainian Orthodox Church. I'm Father Gregory, the pastor. It's good to be with you this morning on Sunday, October 8th, here in Madison, Wisconsin. It is a little cold, but that's okay because, well, it's Wisconsin. It's October and it's supposed to be getting cold, so we're meeting expectations. Most of us have probably heard that famous line from Aleksandr Solzhenitsyn's The Gulag Archipelago. The line between good and evil passes through each human heart. What sometimes we forget, though, or maybe we don't even know, is that line continues, that passage continues, and he says that the line between good and evil passes through each human heart, and that line oscillates, it moves. What that means is that at any given moment, I can be a man of extraordinary virtue and holiness, or I can be a man of almost unimaginable wickedness. Now, to be sure, those extremes for most of us are fleeting. We might be very, very saintly or very, very wicked, maybe just for a second or two, and maybe just only in our own minds. But the point that he's getting at is that good and evil in the human heart is not static. It's not simply good. It's not simply evil. And the proportion of good to evil in the human heart is always changing. It's always, as he says, oscillating. This is why in the tradition of the Orthodox Church, we practice asceticism and that we try to cultivate a life of spiritual discipline. It's not just for those moments when that line moves over to one side and my heart is primarily wicked. It's also important, discipline is also important for those times in when my heart is mostly virtuous and I am very close to saintly. The fathers of the church, or the Desert Fathers, actually have a marvelous line that I think speaks to this. If you see a man ascending to heaven by his own will, grab him by the feet and drag him back down to earth. The fact of the matter is that I am just as prone to be willful in my wickedness, or I'm just as prone to be willful in my holiness or my virtue as I am in my wickedness. I know for myself that line between good and evil is always moving, and I'm often not my best self. And I know that I can go from being really my best self to my worst self in the blink of an eye. It can happen very, very quickly. And when it does, it's humbling, but it can cause a great deal of damage as well. So again, this is why in the tradition of the church, we practice asceticism, we practice self-discipline to help smooth out those oscillations between good and evil, between virtue and vice. But that's something that takes a while to acquire, but it's something that we never acquire definitively, fully, until we enter into the kingdom of heaven. And when we do enter into the kingdom of heaven, St. Gregory Nyssa says, while that line between good and evil doesn't oscillate, there is hopefully there is an expansion of the heart. We grow in virtue, we grow in holiness, we grow in our love of God in the life to come. Understanding that the oscillation of the line between good and evil takes on a different form. It isn't simply a matter of our becoming wicked, but rather that there are times in which God allows that line to move, or maybe allows us to become aware of the degree to which we are controlled by vice, the degree to which we are wicked and sinful and evil. And he does that not to shame us, not to discourage us, but to foster in us self-knowledge and repentance. What about you? Do you recognize that oscillating line between good and evil in your own heart? And if you do, what do you do about it? Does it just drive you to despair or distraction, or does it become an opportunity for repentance, for growth in the spiritual life, growth in your love of God? Well, it is 7:15 here in Mad City, and I've got to go get ready for liturgy. If you're here in Madison and you don't have any place to go to church this morning, why not come to St. Cyril and Methodius at 1020 Regent Street in downtown Madison? We're in the lower level, but you can park out in the lot on College and come around to the front on Regent. You can come to liturgy with us. If you are not in the Madison area, why not check out an Orthodox church and get some sense of what it is we're about and a little bit about our life? All right. Well, I hope everyone has a good rest of the day, a good Sunday. Hope you get a chance to go to church this morning, get a chance to pray. And if you're someplace where fall has begun and it's become cool and crisp, I hope you enjoy it. And if you're in other parts of the world where it's still warm, well, I hope you enjoy that too, as best you can. All right. Well, God bless you. And I look forward to speaking with you again next week.